Hey guys, it's Stargirl, and today I'm going to go over the signs that you are clairvoyant or you have clairvoyance, which means you have psychic seeing. So I believe everyone when they are born is inherently psychic. However, as we get older, we tend to forget our psychic abilities because we get more used to being in the 3D world and we get more used to being in our 3D body. Before we incarnate into the human existence, we are actually non-physical beings. So psychic ability came to us really easy in our existence before this human existence. Keep in mind, guys, there are 4 different types of psychic senses you can have. You can either have clairvoyance, which is psychic seeing, psychic hearing, clairaudience, psychic feeling, clairsentience, or psychic knowing, claircognizance. So if you are not clairvoyant, that doesn't mean you don't have inherent psychic ability. Everyone is born with their own unique set of strengths and own unique set of spiritual abilities. So if this doesn't resonate with you, that doesn't mean you couldn't be clairaudient, clairsentient, or claircognizant. Keep in mind, it is very common to have more than one strongest psychic sense. I know a lot of people who have 1, 2, or even 3 strongest psychic sense. So if that happens to you, no worries, it's perfectly normal. That just means you're extremely gifted. So let's go over the signs that you might be someone who has the natural ability of psychic seeing, aka clairvoyance. So the first sign that you have the natural ability of psychic seeing is if you were a kid, you would watch your teacher speak, or you would watch a pastor speak, or you would pay attention to someone who was speaking in a classroom or wherever, and you noticed that when you spaced off or when you stopped paying attention and just blankly stared at them, you started to see a ring of light around the public speaker, and that light could have been different colors such as blue, pink, or gold. This is because someone with clairvoyance has the natural ability to see spiritual things or see things that are not in this dimension. So what you were picking up on was actually an aura. You were seeing someone's aura when you spaced off at that public speaker, and then you started to see a ring of colorful light surrounding them. So if this is something that's happened to you for a long time, or this is something that happens to you frequently when you pay attention to someone when they speak, it is very likely you have the gift of clairvoyance. The second sign you are naturally clairvoyant is growing up, especially as a kid, but maybe even still now, you saw spirit orbs, spirits, or shadow people. So spirit orbs are actually white balls of light that sometimes you can capture on camera that seem to float irregularly and not like a ball of dust, or they're just a ball of light that randomly shows up in your peripheral vision. Shadow people are when you see shadows shaped like humans walking around in your peripheral vision, or even right in front of you, or you might have seen actual ghost or actual spirit activity. If this is something that has happened to you quite often, especially as a kid, but even now as an adult, it is very likely you have the gift of clairvoyance. The third sign you're clairvoyant is when you were a kid, you had imaginary friends, or you saw people who were not there. So when I was a kid, I actually had this happen to me. I actually lived in a house where someone had passed away, and I would always see a man named Frank who was wearing all brown walking around the house. I had no knowledge that someone passed away in the house, and when I told my parents that I was seeing this man named Frank in all brown walking around the house, they got spooked because they knew when they bought the house that a man named Frank who wore all brown actually passed away in the house. So that is an example of someone who has natural clairvoyance. You might have also just had an imaginary friend that you would hang out with and talk to like they were a real person, and it might have freaked your parents or caregivers out. You may have also been someone who saw fairies or gnomes or elves as a kid when you went out in nature. This is very common for children who have the natural gift of clairvoyance. The fourth sign you're clairvoyant is you're someone who always says, I see. So there's this tarot reader that I watch on YouTube, and every time she reads tarot, she says, I'm seeing, I see, I'm seeing that. If you're someone who, when you use your intuition or when you speak, you normally use the phrase I see or I'm seeing, it is very likely you are clairvoyant. Because when you are clairvoyant, you use your intuition by accessing what you can see in front of your face or what your mind's eye is seeing. So this might actually take a little bit of self-awareness and studying your yourself and how you speak and act to figure out if you are naturally clairvoyant. The fifth sign you are clairvoyant is if you're someone who is naturally drawn to the art of tarot and you like reading tarot. This is because tarot uses images and symbols to portray a message or to say something that the seeker needs to know. So if you're someone who is naturally drawn to tarot or you like reading tarot because you can easily decipher the images on the cards, it is very likely that you are someone who has the natural gift of clairvoyance. The sixth sign you are clairvoyant is if you're watching a movie and the thing that gets you most into the movie is makeup, costume design, lighting, and cinematography. If you're someone who likes to watch movies that are visually striking above all else, it is very likely you are clairvoyant. So one personal example I can give you guys is I personally like to watch period pieces that have really intricate and beautiful costume designs, especially movies that take place in the 1700s with the big powdered wigs and the big fancy dresses. And that's because it's very visually stimulating to me, and that's something that really helps me get into the mood of the movie. So pretty much, if the movies you tend to go to are visually striking and what holds your attention the most or what gets you into the mood of the movie most is lighting, special effects, makeup, or costume design, it is very likely you're clairvoyant. The seventh sign you are clairvoyant is if you're someone who has deja vu a lot and you find that a lot of the times when you have a dream, they tend to come true, or sometimes you have waking daydreams that actually turn out to come true. So you have prophetic dreams or prophetic daydreams or prophetic visions or a lot of deja vu. If that's something that's happened to you more than a few times or happens to you frequently, guess what? You probably have clairvoyance. The eighth sign you are someone who is predominantly clairvoyant is if you close your eyes in a dark room and you see a lot of colors, shapes, geometric shapes in your mind's eye. So if you're in a pitch black room, you close your eyes about to go to bed, it might be hard for you to initially go to bed because you'll see geometric shapes, squares, flames, circles, all in different colors of the rainbow. This might have been something that actually happened to you most as a child, because I find this is a symptom that happens mostly to children who have the natural strength of clairvoyance. But then as we turn into adults and we're tired and sleep deprived, this trick kind of just goes away. So the ninth sign you are clairvoyant is if you're someone who values visual art above all other art. So not music, not dancing, ballet, or whatever. Visual art is where your heart and inspiration lies. For instance, you might like to look at paintings, you might like to look at art or movies, you might be someone who likes painting or drawing or making your own art, something that has to do with stimulating your visuals or your eyes. The 10th sign you are clairvoyant is if you only get peace of mind if the visuals in your room or on you or the aesthetics in your room or on you are on point. So you're someone where if one hair is out of place on your head, you might get really bothered. You're someone who really values symmetry. You're someone who really likes things matching or matching in a very fluid way. You might be someone who's very particular about how you decorate your room or what things you put in your room. You might be someone who has a natural eye for aesthetics and people compliment you on the way you do your makeup or the way you dress. You might be someone who's also really good at Instagram and you're really good at taking Instagram photos, editing Instagram photos, and you just have a natural eye for what looks good. And if it doesn't look good, it bothers you to your core. So those are 10 signs that you are naturally clairvoyant, aka you have the natural ability of psychic seeing. If you're someone who's clairvoyant, it is very likely that your spiritual mission on earth is to be a role model for other people. So kind of like an influencer, and what I like to call a spiritual influencer. So in my opinion, I feel like people with clairvoyance, their natural role is to inspire people and lead people into spirituality or into the awakening by showing by example. So these are the people who are your spiritual gurus, or these are the people that have beautiful spiritual Instagrams, and when you look at their pictures, you're inspired to meditate, buy crystals, and get into spirituality because when you see them doing it, it looks so good, and you want to be a part of that high vibration. You want to be a part of it because you're watching them thrive and succeed, because when they post on Instagram or the way they carry themselves is very elegant, beautiful, inspiring, and because of that, it inspires you to get into spirituality. spirituality. So people with clairvoyance, I believe, are supposed to help raise the vibrations of the earth by leading by example, by inspiring others to do it, because when they do it, they make it look so good. These people are also likely the people who are going to make art that inspires and raises the vibration of the earth. One example I have is Teal Swan and her frequency paintings. She paints things that help raise the frequency or help you get into a certain frequency so you feel better emotionally. This is something that a clairvoyant would be naturally good at. So if you're a clairvoyant, another spiritual job you may have on earth is actually creating something beautiful that raises the vibrations of the earth because it triggers emotions or it makes the vibes in the room really good. This could also mean designing tarot cards, making frequency paintings, making clothes with cute little slogans that make people want to meditate or get into crystals or spirituality. These are also the people that are really good at setting up websites or setting up social medias to really inspire people into spirituality. These people also make really good aura readers. They probably do really well in aura photography. Pretty much anything in spirituality that requires creating something beautiful, being a role model, or reading something that most people can't read on you, such as your aura, and if you have any blockages or stale energy in your aura. They also make really good tarot readers because they're able to really decipher the images on the tarot. Someone with clairvoyance, if they practice the law of attraction, which honestly everyone should practice the law of attraction because that is the law this universe runs by, but if you're someone who likes to use the law of attraction, the most effective and impactful method for you to manifest is by actually using visualization, using the law of attraction. How you do this is by every night before you go to bed, lay down, and until you go to sleep, visualize in your mind's eye and picture what it is you want to manifest, almost like a movie in your head. Someone with clairvoyance will be the most successful at manifesting if they use the visualization technique with the law of attraction. These are also people that tend to manifest the best by using vision boards, using the law of attraction. If you don't know what a vision board is, all you have to do is go into Google and type in using a visual board to manifest. But these ways are the most impactful ways for you personally with clairvoyance to manifest what you desire in life. So that's all I have for you guys. I really hoped you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I helped you figure out what your strongest psychic gift was, and I will see you guys later. Bye.